Amanda, thank you so much for the introduction, and good morning to all of you guys in Greater Memphis. My name is Brian Wilks, and as Amanda stated, I'm the Deputy Director for Title I programs. So today, I will be giving you guys a thorough overview of Title I services and what are those services provided upon the EQUIS as the provider. So as you guys know, what makes up American Job Center isn't just Title I. It is Title I, 2, 3, and 4. All of our titles comprised together, it makes up the service names of American Job Center. Currently in Greater Memphis, we have 5 sites. We had 6, we have 5 now. We have 2 sites in Shelby County, that is Angela's location as well as the Hickory Hill location. And we have 1 site in Tipton, 1 site in Lauderdale, and 1 site in Fayette County. On the Title I side, we have called funding streams. And so the funding stream deals more so as to how do we now service these customers in terms of our financial funds. One of those funding streams that I would dive deeper into is our adult funding stream. The other one that I would dive into is our dislocated worker services. And also we have a new one that is called our National Dislocated Worker Grant as well for those who are affected by COVID. Also, we have out-of-school youth services. Then, of course, we have business services. The ultimate goal of Title I in any of our programs, whether it's Title I, 2, 3, or 4, is to get our customers to self-sufficiency. So one thing about when we look at just the name American Job Center, it is known to our region as a one-stop shop. And so what a one-stop shop looks like, or one-stop service access looks like, anything you can think of as it relates to getting an individual employed or getting them to self-sufficiency, it is offered at one location or in one stop. So that's how now we hear the words comprehensive centers. We now have options, right? So I may come into an AJC and might not really need today Title I services. I may need Title III services, SNAP ENT, or I may need my unemployment starter, or I may need to go in and get a GD high set. We don't quite know yet, but anything they need potentially in getting them to self-sufficiency is offered into one location. So that's why it's so important that when we're doing our assessments, that we are referring individuals out based off their need to our partners, and that's how that partner service looks for us. So from the Title I, as EQUIS as a provider, we are overseeing 4 funding streams. We oftentimes say here in Title I, it's not always our job to just service people, service customers, but it is our responsibility to how do we best do that. And so sometimes that can be upon our adult funding stream. These are individuals who are 18 years of age or older, who meet our income guidelines. They're making at least $31,200 or less than that amount. Or it could be individuals who were laid off their job to no fault of their own. We're seeing so much of that happening now due to COVID. Or it could be, I didn't lose my job at all while due to COVID, but I lost my job maybe about 4 years ago. If they're laid off within 5 years, those individuals still can be considered as a dislocated worker. It could be a scenario where an individual is working, was taking care of their parents for a number of years, and now they're actually now trying to get back into the workforce and have not worked for a period of time. That person can be listed as a displaced homemaker. They also fall under dislocated worker as well. The other one is the heart of our city, in my opinion, our out-of-school youth. These are individuals who are between the ages of 16 and 24. They have some type of identified barrier. That could be high school dropout. That could be homelessness. It could be a plethora of things, right? But these are individuals in our program that we service from this perspective. And so the other one we have was the last one is our grant for national dislocated workers. Individuals who come through our program who may have lost their job at some point via COVID, from March of last year up until current. So when our talent development specialist, known as a case manager, when they're coming in and now they are doing a full assessment, that assessment is really a conversation. And what we're trying to see in that conversation is not really how can I service you, because I can bet my bottom dollar I can service you, right? It's how can I best do that? And so for us, a lot of time it deals with our funding streams. So we're asking certain questions based off adults, dislocated worker, out of school youth, and our national DW grant to determine what is the best avenue at this point to service you in up under Title I. So another cool factor about Title I service now is that we now offer what we call access points. So we have a team on the ground that has been led by Miss Jakara Calicut and Miss Rachel Chisholm. It is called the Greater Memphis Network of Access Points. So people may say, hey, Ryan, like, what is that, right? So the access point team is our mobile team. These are individuals who are meeting our customers where they are in our community. So any type of Title I service that a person would have wanted to gain access to at an Angeles location or Hickory Hill or even in a Fayette or Lauderdale County, we now have what we call access sites all throughout our community that we can service them from as well on a mobile standpoint. The overall goal and purpose of access site is to be in places where there isn't currently a workforce presence. So you will see a lot in Orange Mound, you will see a lot in Fraser, you will see a lot in a lot of communities around the city that currently doesn't have a strong workforce presence. So how do we get them there, right? Or how do an individual become a part of this network, access point, and become a partner of the American Job Center Greater Memphis? 3 ways. One way is through our access network through partnerships. So that's going to be an open or a closed partner. Open partners are individuals, I would say, like our libraries, our Boys and Girls Clubs, our community centers, maybe our schools, right? It's what we're servicing in the individuals in this community to the entire public, pretty much. Our closed partnerships it could be where we're only specializing in that area. So for example, we have a partnership with Shelby County Office of Reentry. We have a staff member there on select days of the week. We also have a staff member, a case manager at Wilks as well. So those 2, for example, are what we call closed partners, that we're not servicing the entire community when we're there. We're only servicing their clientele. The other one we have is our individualized services within our community, which I love that as well. This service deals more so, well, maybe I don't want to go to a Works, or maybe I don't have access to a library or XYZ, but I do have the internet, right? Or I can meet you at the McDonald's of the road, or I can meet you at my apartment complex in the Welcome Center lobby, right? It's where we can meet them at any public place outside their home. So it could be through a Teams meeting or a WebEx meeting, or hey, it could be at Target, Starbucks. A way for us to really capitalize and bring our Title I services to the community when they may have some challenges getting to us. So, and the last one is operated managed sites, which is amazing as well too. Operated managed sites could be a scenario, hey, I'm here, I like it, but I really want to have a scheduled time with my case manager. So in this case, that particular talent development specialist can be at a library, for example, but while they're there, they know at 1 o'clock my time is geared towards Amanda Smith. So those are some creative ways how we have been able to offer Title I services and a snapshot to individuals who really just may be still afraid of COVID because it's still real and might not feel as comfortable in coming to an agency. This next team is called Career Lunch. It's another program that's offered up under the American Job Center. So you hear access points, you hear career lunch, all that still falls from the Title I, the American Job Center, but they just have different groups. So this group is called Career Lunch. It is our Mid-South Young Adult Program, Out of School Youth. This program is managed by Ms. Kelly Lee, who oversees our Out of School Youth program. So with our Out of School Youth program, what's so amazing about this program is that we have something called Design Your Future. Design Your Future is led by one of our facilitators, Ms. Wilks. And in this case, it's a four-day program where we're talking to them about web development, entrepreneurship, you name it, it's built into that process. Outside of that, we call WICS. WICS is called Work Experience. EQUIS is the employer record. We pay these individuals $12 an hour, anywhere from 20 to 30 hours a week for 3 months. In many cases, we have really seen that individuals have been able to gain full employment from WICS. But if not, now they can go on their resume and say, hey, I now have experience in this area. However, when an individual is enrolled in our Out of School Youth program that's led by Ms. Kelly Lee, in this program, what happens a lot of time is that we try to match them in career goal opportunities that identify with their IEP. It's an individual employment plan. So we want to put them anywhere where they don't really have a strong interest in, put them into places where, hey, I think I want to be working in the accounting field. So we're looking them good opportunity in the accounting world for them to really see if it's a career pathway that I want to take. So this is the heart of our program, and the heart of that is how do we deliver these services. Every individual that comes through Title I automatically goes through tiers. So one of those tiers is called basic career services. There are times when an individual who may need our services, but they may not be eligible for service, okay? So eligibility deals with income, it deals with so much that comes to that. So if they're not eligible for services, what our local board has encouraged us to do, and we believe in it, is to still offer that to them. So they can still use our career resource room, they can still use Job 10 and apply for a job online. Our business service team can still refer them over to one of the businesses that we're currently engaging. And also, we can still ask Miles Graham and his team to assist them with their resume, okay? So that's what we call basic service. Every individual that comes into Title I, which is more intense service, individualized service, don't really always need all that we have to offer. In some regard, it could be, hey, I have a good job now, Brian, but I see that FedEx is only hiring through the American Job Center. I just need a referral for an interview. And so this is a way that we still offer services to that customer, although he or she is not eligible through our Tier 1 basic career services. Now, if there's still a challenge, in this case, this individual, he or she is eligible for services, but there's still a challenge for them to get placed on a job, and it could be a plethora of things. What we then do is go to Tier 2. Tier 2 deals more with that deeper assessment. That's going to deal more so with us getting a really good, strong feel for what does Brian really wants to do. So individualized service, once a person is enrolled into that Tier 2, that's Title I for us. Okay. Upon that, we have interviewing and job readiness workshops. That is led by our virtual service team, which is led by Miles Graham. Also, we have the Academy. Also, we have LMI, labor market information. What is the market currently saying now about job and customer service, right? We have our career awareness assessments. That's where our TDSs are doing deeper dive and conversation to see how can we best service you. And also we have our partner service, and that can be, through Title II or Title III or Title IV. So in this sense, we are doing a little more, we are kind of crafting our services to fit what your current need is. But guess what? It can still be a challenge too in getting these individual placed. So our last step, if we can't get you placed in a job in Tier 1 or a job in Tier 2, our next one is tier 3, training and support. That's where the individual training account comes into play. We call it ITA. That is currently now being managed with my help by our new ITA coordinator, Ms. Shantae Howell. So the ITA side of it is where we offer up to $4,000 to each individual for a training program of their choice that is approved on our state ETPL list. The key thing in that is we offer up to. In some cases, if the program is worth $1,500, we pay $1,500 and not the whole entire $4,000, right? So in this case, it is a way now for individuals who come through our program and may not even have a skill set or a credential or certification or a license, how we can now get them a certificate, get them a credential or license to increase their level of skill gain, and now they have a greater chance to finding employment based off that service alone. This is probably one of our hot tamales in Title I. We're seeing right now our hot tamales is going to be our CDL programs and also our CNA programs, okay? Our next one is, for Brian, maybe I don't really want to go to school. It's not my thing, but I still need help. I'm really good with my hands. If you show me maybe once or twice, I can do it, but I don't have the experience. Job training, OJTs. OJT is led by Senior BSc, which is Business Service Consultant, Mr. Will Henry, who is managed by Ms. Lecarius Thomas. OJT is where an employer have the opportunity to now craft the ideal employee, right? So in this case, it could be an example where we can reimburse an employer up to 75% of the individual wages while they're in training. If the individual is a veteran, if they are individuals that is reentry, or they have a disability, if they meet any of those 3 categories, we can reimburse them up to 75% of their training. If they don't meet any of those categories, it's a 50% reimbursement. That training cannot last 6 months, but what this has done, it has really allowed individuals an opportunity to go to work, get a real skill set, and make some really good money in a field that they really have any experience in. Our next one is called WICS. We use it for short, but it stands for work experience. We have 2 of them. So our WICS is led by Senior BSc Marcus Cup, and also with the assistance of our business solution consultant, Ms. Jessica Cannon. So with our WICS program, if they're going on the youth side of things, we're going to place them into one of our partner sites. We pay them $12 an hour, up to 30 hours a week, or potentially for 3 months, in a career field that matches their individual employment plan. So now we're putting youth in opportunities to really get a good feel. Do I really want to be an accountant, or do I really want to be maybe an attorney, or do I want to be in let's say the medical field, right? The other side of that is we have our adult WICS program. Our adult WICS program deals with individuals that were laid off their job via COVID. And so in this case, we would place them at one of our WICS sites, and that position somehow deals with COVID related. It could be admin work, janitorial work, something along those lines. But in the job description, is something dealing along the lines of COVID, of course. We pay these individuals $18 an hour, 40 hours a week for 3 months. We have seen in most cases individuals who have gone through our WICS program have now gotten full-time employment through our partner sites. As you can see, it may be a challenge for an individual to find work in our Tier 1 service. It could be, I have my resume, I did the workshops for interviewing, I'm still not there yet, I'm not really good in public speaking, but I can work my tail off, right? The next thing is our Tier 3. So our Tier 3 is more so our hands-on training that we're doing and putting them into opportunities and paying them while they're enrolled with OJT or WICS. The last thing that's offered from the Tier 3 is called support service. Support serving is so broad for Greater Memphis, but it's anything in reasoning, of course, that we can use to support this individual to get them and help them maintain to be self-sufficiency, right? Now, these individuals have to enroll into Title I first. They have to be in a training-related program or a job search program. If an individual comes to us and refers to us to a partner agency, and they're coming in and say, hey, I just really want to get a gas card. That's not really how support service works. Although they may need that support service, they have to be invested first in the program, in either a training program, a Wilks program, OJT, job search, something along those lines, and then we want to support them in their effort from there, okay? So that's one thing about that as well. The last service we offer in our delivery model is our follow-up and retention. That's led by our quality assurance manager, Mrs. Station Taylor. So that's going to deal also with support service, but also professional development. So we have two amazing ladies on our team, Ms. Beverly Davis and Ms. Carrie Hawkins, who are doing our follow-up for individuals out the exit. And so in many cases, we're trying to retain them if there's still a service that is needed, but also how you're doing in second and fourth quarter. And the reason why second and fourth quarter is so important for us because now it helps us with retention. Can you keep a job? Can you maintain a job? Can you maintain employment? And so we want to make sure that we're capturing all the information in our state system to ensure that we are best servicing the customer as much as possible. Our next one is going to be business services. Business services is led by Mrs. Achilles Thomas. So about the business services, we have a plethora of things that we offer. One of those things is called tax credit for high and eligible employees, right? WOTC, work opportunity tax credit. So that could be an opportunity where an individual employer in this case, they say, hey, I want to hire individuals in Shelby County. I'm a pilot program, for example. If they utilize the American Job Center Services, if they come in and they, let's say, use post their jobs and jobs to use, get tax credit at the end of each year. The other service offered from their business service called federal bonding. Federal bonding is a program that is offered to the state, but it could be a scenario where you are dealing with a customer that has a reentry background. And that individual may have a background so challenging that employer may say, hey, I don't really take a risk on applying right now because of XYZ. And so it could be theft, for example. Federal bonding is a free insurance policy. I always say free, a no cost, this is what we use, insurance policy. What federal bonding does is it's a 6-month policy. If anything is stolen or damaged within that 6 months, that individual employer can be reimbursed up to $5,000, okay? Now, what is so amazing about federal bonding is it goes beyond individuals that may have a background. It could be, I got a job working at Rihanna Foods as an operation technician, and I'm not really familiar with their equipment, and I may run the risk of damaging as well. If you don't have the skill set, you can be federal bonded too. So I don't want to get caught up on the word federal bonding is only for individuals who have backgrounds, but also for individuals that who might not even have the skill set either. Now, the individual customer and the individual employer has to be bonded together. It can't be either or. But then after the 6 months, they can still remain upon the policy of being federal bonded at a small fee, of course, to the employer and to the customer. But this is an amazing opportunity. And now canceling out challenges or barriers with individuals as they come through our agency. Remember, I said earlier, it's not all about servicing them, but how we best service customers. The other thing we offer is called job posting. Job posting, that's going to be through our state system, BOSS, Job TN, where we are posting hot jobs and posting things of that nature into our state system for individuals to see. What is so unique about job posting is that once our business solution consultant put that information to our state system, it now helps them narrow down in percentages, is Brian a good match, not a good match. And so it kind of helps our BSC team, our business service team, better understand how can I place you based off skill sets and then where, based on what's available in our market. The other one is the applicant screening for candidates. So now we're offering the services that we're doing all pre-screens, wow, for all of our employees, employers, those who want an assistant, of course. So now we're pre-screening them on the front end, and when they get to the actual interview with the employer of choice, they're now seeing are they good culture and candidate fits. But our team has done all the level on the back end of it. So now with employers, they're not having to run the risk of having a job fair, seeing 100 people and only 4 to the candidate. Also, we offer LMIs, right? So LMI is what is the current market saying about your industry? So we have made things, for example, well, why is FedEx having a huge turnover, right? Well, it could be an example of, well, FedEx, you're paying your employees $12.50 an hour, and Amazon offer the same type of services, better benefits, for example, and they're paying $15 an hour. What LMI does is it helps our BSCs navigate conversations with our employers to really guide them on, for one, increasing wages, but also walking them through solutions in terms of helping and maintaining retention. I already kind of mentioned about the on-the-job training and work experience, but what I did not mention was IWT, in-combat worker training. So it could be a scenario where Amber Covington is an engineer and been working as an engineer for about 25 years, but now there's a new software available. And Amber's not quite understanding this new software now, and she may run the risk of losing her job because of the new software. What IWT does is it will allow this employer to bring in a trainer to train his staff on this new software, but now they can keep and maintain their employment, right? So we're helping not more than people who need jobs, but also helping those who have jobs maintain their jobs too. A few services that we offer at your, and it's really your American Job Center, is called the Academy, Career Pathways, and then Talent Market. So the Academy is amazing for our program. Every individual that enrolls into Title I program from the EQUIS, they have the opportunity to go through the Academy customer, through GD Academy, Computer Essentials, Money Essential, and so forth, to really get an understanding in the field and the training of the job market. But also what is really amazing through the American Job Center Title I with EQUIS is that they can also gain free LinkedIn Learning certification prep and continuing education courses at no cost. And so we have a lot of things that offer upon the Academy, but guys, it's really a free tool that offers several online resources to help customers become self-sufficient in their job search. The other one is our Career Pathways Explorer. So we use something called Trainify. That's our part that we use here on this side. And it could be a scenario where individuals are coming in and they really have no clue as relates to what they really want to do. It happens a lot. And so what Career Pathways is now help us navigate and narrow down the scope in terms of what this individual wants to do. Remember, I said earlier, our goal here is not to just service customers, but how do we best do it? And we don't want to put John into a job if John really has an interest elsewhere. Our first focus in our assessment is first, what is John's goal? What is John's passion? What are John's dreams? And then from there, navigate him to where his career pathway leads him from there. In Title I and all of our services, it's not about what does Title I want for you, but how do we get Brian to give what Brian wants for himself? Okay? The next one is Talent Market, which is our last one. Talent Market is for individuals who are what we call work ready, job ready, same thing. So Talent Market links to our boss system. So every day at midnight is adding job orders in, picking job orders out. But we know in Job for TN, it gives you what is available for the whole entire state, right? But with talent market, it's only narrowed down to Greater Memphis, and that's going to be with Shelby County, Fayette, Tipton, and Lauderdale County. So you're not looking at jobs way in Nashville when you live in Shelby County. It helps kind of narrow down that research for you guys, for our customers. So how do customers reach us? Beyond calling our front desk, but we have called a tree link. So if you can take your phones and you put your phone toward this barcode here, this will allow an individual to fully access all our services. One of the services they can access would be our new customer registration form. So they'll fill this form out. It probably only takes about, let's say, maybe 5 minutes to do that, maybe 2 minutes, honestly. What is so unique about this form is that every question is tied to a funding stream. So that when our case manager is now reaching out to the customer, we already potentially know how we can best service you. Remember, best service, right? Service you based on the question you have asked. Asked and answered. You may have seen this flyer throughout the American Job Center and our partner locations over the past year. And so once an individual has scanned this barcode in and they want to utilize our services, a talent development specialist will reach out to them within 48 hours. And from that, we will move forward with our next steps. Also, in this link is really amazing as well, because you also have the option to choose an in-person experience or a virtual experience. If you choose an in-person experience, you can also choose your location of preference. And from there, a TDS, a case manager for that location, will call you directly. And coming to a close, we believe in connecting. And also what we believe is that it takes a whole entire village for workforce to work in cities like Memphis and areas like Greater Memphis. It takes Title I, all of us. It takes Title II, all of us. Title III, Title IV, all of us. No matter who's our provider, it takes all of us coming together for the common good. And so one of the ways that we are staying connected to our customers and to our partners is through social media. Tennessee is leading the world, believe it or not, in that effort. So we're on Instagram, we're on TikTok, we're on Twitter, and yes, we're on LinkedIn as well. We can't always ask others to follow us if we're not following ourselves. So I do want to encourage every individual on this call, if you're not following us on these platforms, if you're a member of these platforms, please follow us today on Instagram, on Twitter, on TikTok, and also on LinkedIn as well. And this is a clear snapshot, very brief, of course, Title I service for Greater Memphis. Are there any questions for me?